Alright, our problem today is to solve using Gauss Jordan Elimination the system of equations minus 2x minus 5y plus 4z is equal to negative 24, negative 4x plus 5y plus 6z equals negative 40, 8x plus 5y plus 2z equals negative 24. So we're going to start by converting that into our matrix, recording the coefficients, negative 2, negative 5, 4, a vertical line to indicate the equal sign, and then a 24, our augmented matrix there. Negative 4, 5, 6, negative 40, and 8, 5, 2, and 24. And so that's our initial matrix. My goal is to first fix this first row, make it something 0, 0. So I'm going to do, if I multiply the first number by negative 2 times row 1 and add it to row 2, putting that back into row 2 spot, that will create a 0 there in that second row. So I'm going to get negative 2, negative 5, 4, negative 24. I'm going to leave the first row the same. I'm going to modify the second row here. So negative 2 times negative 2 becomes a positive 4, plus the negative 4 will give us 0. Negative 2 times negative 5 gives us positive 10, plus 5 makes 15. Negative 2 times negative 4 is a negative 8, plus the 6 gives us negative 2. Negative 2 times negative 24 gives us positive 48, plus the 40, negative 40 gives us 8. Alright, and that fixes the second row, and I'm going to go ahead and do the bottom row too while we're at it. So let's just do 4 times row 1, add it to row 3, and put it into row 3 spot. So 4 times negative 2 gives us a negative 8, plus 8 gives us the 0. 4 times 5 is negative 20, plus 5, negative 20 plus 5 is a negative 15. 4 times 4 would be 16, plus 2 makes 18. And then 4 times negative 24 would be 80, 96, negative 96, negative 96. I'm going to do this over here on the side. Negative 96 and a positive 24 is going to, let's see, I want to subtract negative 72. So it'll have down there in that bottom row. All right, so the first row is all fixed up the way I want it with the 2, and then everything else is there. I want to get zeros now where the negative 5 is and where the negative 15 is. The negative 15 might be the easiest if I take just row 2 plus row 3, and I want to replace, I want a 0 down here in the bottom row. So I'm going to put that into row 3 spot. I'll have negative 2, negative 5, 4, negative 24 on the top row, 0, 15, negative 2, and 8 on the bottom row. And I'm just going to add 0 plus 0 is 0. Negative 15 and a positive 15 is 0. Negative 2 plus 8 gives us 16. And a negative 8 plus a negative, or 8 plus a negative 72, I think is a negative 64. Alright, that's looking good there. And then I want to make a positive, I want to make a 0 here in the first row, second column here. And I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to do 3 times row 1. 3 times row 1. Add it to row 2, but put it back, put the result back in row 1 spot. Because a 3 times a negative 5 will give us a negative 15, so that when I add it to the 15, I'll end up with 0. So 3 times negative 2 is a negative 6, plus 0 is a negative 6. And I'm putting it in the first row. Let me go ahead and fill in the others because they're going to stay the same. Nope, I don't need the 8 there. All right. 3 times negative 5 is a negative 15, plus 15 would be 0. 3 times 4 is 12, plus 2, or 12 minus 2, sorry, would be 10. And 3 times negative 24 is 72. Negative 72 plus 8 again. That's going to give us a negative 64. Negative 64 there in that last column. All right. The next thing I want to do is I want a 1 down here in the very bottom row. So let's just take this bottom row and divide it by 16. And I think we'll get lucky there. Negative 6, 0, 10. Negative 64. 0, 15, negative 2, 8. 0, 0. 16 divided by 16 is 1. And negative 64 divided by 16 is negative 4. All right, I want to make a 0 up above that. I want to turn this negative 2 into 0. So let's do positive 2 times row 3, add it to row 2, put it back into row 2 spot. And I'm also going to do negative 10 times row 3 plus row 1, put it into row 1 spot. That'll create the 0 in the top row as well. So the bottom row stays the same, 0, 0, 1, negative 4. And I'm going to change the other two rows. So let's do this first calculation first. 2 times row 3 plus row 2. 2 times 0 plus 0 stays 0. 2 times 0 plus 15 stays 15. 2 times 1 is 2, plus negative 2 gives me the 0 right where I want it. Whoa. I've got a keyboard showing up there all of a sudden. All right, and then 2 times negative 4 is negative 8. Negative 8 and positive 8 add to 0. All right, and then finally 10 times row 3 plus row 1. 10 times 0 plus negative 6 is going to be negative 6. 10 times 0 plus 0 is still 0. 10 times, or negative 10 times 1 is negative 10, plus a positive 10 would be 0. And negative 10 times negative 4 is negative 40, or positive 40. So positive 40 and a negative 64. Positive 40 and a negative 64 would be a negative 24. All right. And two last things to do. I want to get the 1s. I want to turn the 15 into a 1 and the 6 into a 1. So I'm going to divide row 1 by negative 6. And I'm going to divide row 2 by 15. And that should give me zeros, or 1s on the diagonal. So negative 6 divided by negative 6 is 1. 0 divided by negative 6 is 0. 0 divided by negative 6 is 0. Negative 24 divided by negative 6 is 4. And then 0 divided by 15 is 0. 15 divided by 15 is 1. 0 divided by 15 is 0. 0 divided by 15 is 0. And then the bottom row stays 0, 0, 1, negative 4. And we're all done with our equation. We've got it in that row reduced echelon form. And we can just read off our solutions now. That first equation is really just x equals 4. The second equation is y equals 0. And the third equation is 0x plus 0y plus z equals negative 4. So that just is z equals negative 4. So our solution is x equals 4, y equals 0, and z equals negative 4.